fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners.
I'm Captain Greg DeBrule of the party boat Blackhawk out of Niantic, Connecticut. You've seen us at the sports shows, you've seen us on TV, magazines, newspapers. Now you can come fish with us, okay? We're fast, we're clean, and we're comfortable. And besides that, we catch them. Ask around. Come visit us at blackhawksportfishing.com. We'll save a seat for you.
Listen to me. He didn't want to hear that. He's a buddy of mine. This is not about politics. He's a friend of mine. Do not do that, please. Out of respect for my friend. Don't do that.
It's Thursday, July 13th. New Jersey, Delaware Bay edition of the Fisherman magazine. I'm Jim Hutchinson. Hey, what? I told you guys, I told you before. Is that classic? Is that classic or what? That was Governor Moneybags getting booed off the stage in Red Bank last week. Just about about a week after he pledged to give away all of our taxpayer funds to Orsted for all those pet projects, getting booed off the stage for the Brian Jerk and the Kirks or something like that. That video was taken in Red Bank. Pretty funny stuff from Matt Rooney of Save New Jersey. The public speaks, and another musician wrapped in an American flag says, "Don't do that, don't speak out loud." Strange days indeed. A lot of crowd applause here. I'm not getting booed the whole time. A lot of crowd applause here in Orlando, Florida. We are at ICAST 2023. Matt Broderick and myself, we've been walking around, finally got a load off today, sitting here at the Salt X Reels booth, Tsunami. What's new in the world of rods, reels, line, tackle, terminal tackle, electronics? Well, Matt and I are working on that. We're trying to cover all this stuff. We start next week with our videos, but I'm seeing some really great stuff. I mentioned being at Tsunami. Everybody's talking about the Saltex 3000, the new reels. So we're hanging out here for a little while. I think it's really cool. An incredible new trolling motor from Minn Kota that Matt and I looked at earlier today with Humminbird. Incredible new stuff. Savage top water poppers. We're seeing stuff from Penn. We're actually going to be taking a whole tour of the entire Penn line. Fenwick rods are brand new. New stuff from Shimano. Whatever we're coming out of this show with, July 13th and 14th, we're flying home, Matt and I, starting on Tuesday the 18th, Monday the 17th, that's actually it. We have an intro to what you'll see, and then Thursday after that, and then every Monday and Thursday until we're done, a brand new product review from ICAST, which means Matt and I are bringing you the latest, greatest gear that you're going to see throughout 2023 and into 2024. So while we're walking down here in Orlando, what do they say? It's the happiest place on earth. It's the hottest place on earth. But we are getting some good reports from home. My neighbor Bob was kind enough to let me know what I'm missing back at home in the upper stretches of Barnegat Bay this week. He and his wife Steph had him on the outgoing tide earlier this week. It's kind of good to hear because the bay waters are so warm, 70 degrees and up, so getting them on the outgoing tide is great. Almost tend to think of the incoming tide if you're working in the back bays. Mike Lewandowski, Pink Gulp, did the trick. He brought this 4.5-pound Fluke into Fanatics this week, so we're heading down into Atlantic County and Cape May County, where yes, we're still finding out that the back bays still have some of those summer flounder for you to participate in that action. Dave McNall, 80 years young, with a keeper in the 20-inch range on the incoming tide, 75 degrees in the water someplace behind Summers Point. I'm thinking maybe Ship's Channel or Rainbow Channel. Meanwhile, Michael Martello let me know of a fat 22-incher that he caught on a 1.5-ounce bucktail with a 5-inch new penny gulp at Corson's, and that was caught on his brand new Sea Eagle inflatable kayak. You've probably seen the Sea Eagles at the Fisherman magazine, and you'll probably see them too if you check out the Dreamboat Fishing Challenge. Take a look at that Dreamboat Fishing Challenge. We'll have an update for you in just a moment. But action is, of course, moving out front, of course. I hopped aboard the Big Mohawk on a day last week, working the sticky stuff out of Shark River for some of those jumbos. I didn't catch a jumbo, but sure caught my limit using jig heads with gulp and also fish bites, white and pink shines. They were giving me a little grief because I didn't have the full complement. But if you're working out of Shark River at the Rattlesnake and all that structure, bring the big gulps, bring the big fish bites, 5 and 6 inch. Whites are working, and we're also getting some good reports on the pink shines. Losing gear along the way while working those snags on the various structure, but that's what you can expect. So if you're going to get down on those wrecks, reefs, and rocky bottom, a lot of Mohawk regulars like Janet Blindberry and her husband, you just got to remember, bring both outfits. Bring a conventional. If you've got a good drift, bring the spinning tackle with a good 3,000, 4,000 series reel on there, but you want to be able to get through some of those times where you might not have a great drift. But again, if you're going to work the reefs, the wrecks, the snags, that's where you're going to get some of those bigger fish, and that's down into Cape May County too, off of Lewis, out to the old grounds, and on all over those reef sites. But again, be prepared to lose some of those rigs. Jumbos are on the rocks. You just need to prep for those additional conditions, especially if you want one of the pool winners. Ryan Landolfi won the pool in the Ocean Explorer this week, 5-pounder. So we are seeing some of those good fish, 5, 6 pounds. Creekside Outfitters said Levi Widman had an 8-pounder at the tires, live bait. Live bait's always a good approach, big minnows, but if you're getting out off the beaches, look for some of the live spot. If you can get some live spot, now's the time to catch spot in the back bays, but live spot will put you on there. It's just the way those jumbo fluke feed, right? For a little bit more on the scientific look at summer flounder, let's go open boat with Jenny Ackerman.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Jenny Ackerman, and today on Open Boat, we're going to be discussing fish biology. Now don't worry, this isn't a summer school lesson. It's informative for you anglers to learn some biology about the fish. So it's important for the angler not only to catch the fish, but to understand the science behind the species. So today on Open Boat, we're going to be talking about fluke biology. Fluke can grow fast, but have a relatively short life of up to 14 years. Around 2 to 3 years old is when they begin to spawn, and females, based on their size, have between 460,000 to 4 million eggs. As they grow, the bones on the right side of their skull grow faster than the left, causing the right eye and nostril to migrate to the left side, making them excellent ambush predators. So I hope you guys learned a little bit about the fluke, and next time you're fishing in the surf or you're on the boat with your buddies and you catch yourself a nice fluke, you could host your own little fish biology seminar and teach your friends something about the fluke too.
For more than 20 years, anglers everywhere have come to know one thing, that nothing says no to fish bites.
Heard from Shori Fakura this week, says the inlet at Belmar was chock full of 1 to 3 inch peanut bunker. In fact, Chris Johnson and the boys using sand crabs up there in that same area on the beach for some striped bass. Yes, sand crabs will do the trick for some of those resident stripers that we have in the mix right now. More summer exotics are arriving. It's important that I'm here at the Tsunami Saltex booth because I found out about young Josh Leone with a tasty triggerfish. So expect to see those triggerfish in the mix as well, on the reef sites, on the jetty rocks. Also, cobia. We're getting more cobia reports south on up into North Jersey. This one somewhere in the central area. Jake Adair, a cobia last week. I'm thinking Southern Ocean, maybe Atlantic County area. But he released that cobia because he's looking for some good karma. If you're going to keep one, it's got to be 37 inches. 1 per angler, 1 per vessel. Tuna fishing has finally started to heat up amidst some of that, well, that triple Rex traffic. We talked about it last week. Some of the folks got out in some really good conditions over the weekend, did not find that triple wreck bite so hot. I got to think it's because of all the traffic. But lesser traffic, mid-range grounds, offshore, we are finally starting to see that tuna bite materialize. Hope you can get in on that. We will talk a little bit more about tuna in just a moment, but first let's head west. Check in with George, our Pocono Outdoors guy.
Well, hey, thanks, Jim. You know, it's great to see some dry weather here. What seems to be like it rained for 2 weeks here in the Poconos, but things look like they're starting to dry out. Hopefully we'll get some dry weather for the weekend. It looks like we may get a day of rain here or there, but we'll have to work through that. It's going to be tough fishing for the next couple days, guys. You know, the rivers and the creeks are still high and probably a lot muddied too at this point. So we made it a few more days for those to calm down before fishing gets back good. So you might want to shift your attention to some of those bigger lakes. Guys, things like Beltsville and Raystown, Nockamixon, and Wallen Pompack. Now the pack has been doing really good. We had a few folks check in this week out there getting some of these big old striper, and they certainly seem to be holding center stage there. We had Will Grouper out there getting a bunch of these beautiful striper out there in the pack, and also Paul Chickarine following suit. He checked in with a couple nice ones as well. Now the recipe there, guys, you know, they're all trolling this live bait, nice and slow, low and slow presentation when this weather starts getting real hot. Just a tip too, if you want to keep 1 or 2 for the table, that's fine, but you know, start getting these high water temperatures, that mortality rate, as we've been talking about, just goes way up, and you probably won't get a good successful release this time of year. So be careful when you're fishing. Also, guys out west are still hitting those stripers too, although this time the hybrids near Harrisburg, PA, Shane Fry was out getting a few of them as well. Shane also said the topwater bite for bass is still really good early in the morning and late evening, so if you guys will go out and try some of that as well. Guys, hopefully you have a great success this weekend. If you get on some great fish, be sure to send us those pics here at thefisherman.com. We'd love to hear from you. But for now, from Pennsylvania, I'm George, your Pocono Outdoors guy.
Before looking ahead towards tuna fishing, we have complete emptiness, last I saw, in the Dreamboat Fishing Challenge in terms of black sea bass. Don't forget, in New Jersey, you've got that 2-month period, July and August, where we get 1 sea bass. If you're going to catch a big sea bass, make it count. Bring it home, weigh it in, and you too, as a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine, can get yourself on that Dreamboat leaderboard for a brand new Steiger Yamaha package with the Minn Kota sometime at the end of the season. For the rundown on where we stand with the Dreamboat Fishing Challenge, let's check in with my buddy Tim Smith.
It was a slow week in the Dreamboat Challenge, but 2 new fish hit the board. The first was a 2.06 pound scup landed by Michael Rosenberg of Comac, New York, which currently holds 8th place for the category. And then we had Thomas Logan of Brick, New York, with his 8.9 pound fluke, which sits in 7th place for the flatfish category. The top 3 remain unchanged. Luke Citrelli holds 3rd place with 18 points. Eddie Terrabil remains in 2nd place with 21 points, and Bobby Cifarelli is our overall leader with 25 points. The Dreamboat Fishing Challenge is the Fisherman subscriber-only multi-species fishing competition with a chance to win a new 21-foot Steigercraft center console powered by Yamaha, along with many other great prizes. Visit thefisherman.com to subscribe and get all the details so you can be part of the action.
So I did mention the tuna fishing. Captain Johnny Lutchka let me know he was on the mid-range grounds with a new Sea Falcon Banana 80 jig. Finally, a jig bite. Hopefully we'll see that topwater bite materialize soon too. 10-year-old Will Driscoll, he was out there, brought himself that Tunaville slugger that he always brings on board. Well done out there with those tuna. I would tell you, I had so much good information last week in terms of saying we've got a great weekend ahead of us. I don't know if I can say the same thing. You got to keep your eye on the NOAA marine weather forecast for the next couple of days. It can always change and can be completely wrong, as you would expect. But here at ICAST midweek, looking at that NOAA weather forecast for back at home in the Northeast, Friday into Sunday, does not exactly look flat and calm from the Hudson to the Baltimore. Again, keep your eye on that NOAA weather forecast if you're trying to find a good window to get offshore to those mid-range greens, mid-range grounds. South winds, plenty of them in our offshore or in our weekend outlook, I should say. Running around with Matt Broderick this week, we're talking about the shark attacks on Long Island. Long Island South Shore is seeing more of those shark attacks. We're not talking about Jaws stuff, but it's probably sandbars, brown sharks, looking like they're going after baits, but actually grabbing a hold of somebody's foot. But again, I thought that last year, with our heavy dose of south winds, continued to push that warmer surface water onto the southern shores of Long Island, which of course, the sharks are in there, feeding on menhaden in that warmer water. We'll see what happens this weekend. We're probably right around the anniversary of those old shark attacks back at the Jersey Shore many, many moons ago. Again, more from ICAST starting next week. Our intro video comes out on Monday, and then Thursday we will start with our very first product spotlight for the rest of the year, because Matt and I Thursday, I think we're wrapping up with about 40 different product reviews, and by the time we're finished on Friday, hopefully we'll have 50 of them. That's 2 a week all the way through. I'm not much for addition. You figure it out. Can't wait to get home. Looking forward to drifting and dreaming for a couple of Fluke this weekend. Hope I didn't miss too much, but I will look forward to seeing you out there this weekend, and of course, catch them up. See you again next week, right here at thefisherman.com.